They are vaccines, yes. You know, we'll get there eventually, though, but it might take a couple of
From
months.
where you sit as a doctor, there are lots of that. Like I said, there's so much information out
Yeah.
there. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're not sure what you're consuming from which website and all that. But from where you sit as a doctor,
Yeah.
how close do you think we are to getting this vaccine?
So for now, there's a lot of uncertainty.
Mm.
You see, some of the research they think they are getting closer. Oh no, we didn't get it all after all.
Wow.
And was it last week or early this week in the U.S. in Seattle? They started some trials. They were recruiting volunteers. You know, we're even making a joke. They say $4,500 to get on that trial. Are you going to try it? You know, yeah. So efforts have been made, tireless effort, because it's a big challenge. The whole of the medical world, the public health world, the microbiology, it's everybody is up and running.
Nobody is relenting.
No, everybody's up and running with all the seriousness, and the World Health Organization is leading us quite effectively. You know, like Dr. Tedros keeps saying to us that don't assume you are safe. Don't assume it will not come to you. Prepare as though it is coming to you. Prepare as though your community is getting it. And such is the urgency of the call to action. And the last time he said, my people, my continent, Africa, wake up. You know, there's this renowned institution in the U.S., Johns Hopkins. They have a global health institution.
Yeah.
They had originally projected, when the thing started in China, that it will get to this part of the world, maybe August, thereabouts.
But here
Adam, it has overtaken us.
Here it is.
It is already here. It's already here. And of course, it comes with changes to life, like you're saying. So now, it is okay to feel that, hey, it's a serious thing. It's okay to feel scared, so long as that gives you energy to want to do what you can do to prevent the spread.
Yeah.
But we don't want it to get us too anxious and panicky.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a thin line. Okay, why should we not get too panicky? It is multiplying, and we are getting new cases every other day or so. But
and people are responding differently to it.
People are responding differently to it. You see, and as a country, we have seen leadership taking certain steps and making some efforts. There will be more. It will be escalating, like the presidency keeps telling us. They will be updating and reviewing it with time. But bring it down. It's a viral infection, pretty much like what gives us the common cold, the flu that you and I get from time to time. You are down 2-3 days. You're able to get over it, feeling a bit better, then you get
out of it.
Yeah. So in a large majority of cases, that will be the trend. Okay. That will be the trend because fortunately, it would not knock down everybody with severe illness.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's a serious problem, but I just want us to see a bit of brightness in it. Okay. But the problem is, if it gets to too many people, then it stays too long with us. And it's going to overstretch and overwhelm our healthcare system.
Sure.
Today, or let's say 2 months ago, we didn't have corona in Ghana, but already there were cases. You rush somebody to the hospital, they say no bed. Try this, please. Try this, please. Yes.
Exactly.
You know, and what if this should become that extra burden at the rate at which it's going, whereby the few beds we have are taken up by critically ill COVID patients, and then our malaria, our diarrhea, our hypertensive emergencies, our pregnant women bleeding issues, where do we take them to? You know, so which is why every effort is needed to minimize and stop the spread. So, in a family setting, like you said, we can look at various scenarios. Children are home for safety reasons. Schools have been closed down. Very good move. Children are home. Mom goes, dad goes to work. Mom is in either a low risk, medium risk, or high risk kind of job. If your job includes or involves meeting people, that comes with a risk. You see, because you don't know who you are meeting, where they have been to, whom they have met, or whom they have just walked past, or who has sneezed without practicing respiratory hygiene, sneezed into a place that they just walked into. You have no idea what services they have touched, which door handles they have touched, which currency notes they have touched.
Oh, that one.
You see what I mean? And so you go about your normal work and you come back. To all intents and purposes, let's say you are contaminated. It's better to assume that way than assume the other way.
Exactly.
So when you get back, have your sanitizer in your porch before you even touch your door handle. Okay? You do that so you can be sure that to some extent you have decontaminated the hand. Because we said your hands are extremely crucial in this spread. So talk about the hand hygiene and the respiratory hygiene. So you do that before you get in. And you get in, we're even saying, if possible, and you have the means, why not take off your clothes before you enter the main house?
Wow.
And I know that comes with the challenges of the kind of housing systems we have for the lower class. We're in a compound house, you have to walk in. Everybody's pounding fufu in a compound, you need to walk to your door. How do we manage that? You see, with information, we have to bring out some creativity, yes, to be safe. So if possible, take off your clothes. If you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you wear your clinical coat. There's no business taking that thing close to home.
At all.
No. Hang it in the hospital, not even to your car. And you sit in a trotro, you don't know who has sneezed from behind or from your side, and you don't know what has caught onto your dress, Yesterday, Nima brought another twist that, how about your dread? You don't know what it has cost your hair.
Oh, child.
But to the extent that we're able to do something, let's keep at it. Okay? And then when you do that, then you get in social distancing. It's difficult. The children would have to get used to it, and that comes with understanding. Comes with understanding, because we are depriving ourselves the usual show of love just in order to break this bad virus's transmission, and then we get back to life, hopefully normal, right? And then we have to keep, and of course when you get in, you need to do your wash from your hand up your wrist all the way to the elbow. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we're wearing a long sleeve or not. You want to be safe. And we say to the children that whilst washing, you should do a minimum of 20 seconds. So you sing happy birthday from beginning to the end. Then you know that you have done. So every time I'm at home and the little girl is in the bathroom, she's singing happy birthday.
You know she's washing.
Yes, it takes me a few minutes to realize, okay, this is what is going on. And so they are all getting along. Then there's the other scenario where a member of the family is unwell. Okay, so let's say a couple who lives together, one person is unwell, has a cough, a fever, flu-like symptoms. You are not sure yet. Stay at home. Call the emergency numbers we have. Somebody will respond, take a bit more of your history, and advise. Because we have said that there is evidence of community transmission now. And that only means that the condition is here with us. The virus is here with us. And so you are not sure who you've walked past is spreading it without having symptoms or not. And we don't want that chain to continue. So because if you want to say, I feel headache, fever, coughing, sneezing, I want to go to this polyclinic or this hospital, call first. Because you see the transport system, you're going to hop onto a taxi or a trotro, and then all the other people are at risk. From your home, from wherever to circle, from circle to the next point before you eventually get to a destination. So if you stay home and you get and you call the response line, we would advise sometimes we'll give you what to do in form of advice, then come over or direct you to a holding center where samples can be taken. Because some of the cough and runny nose stuff and a fever would still come up, just like we're seeing prior to emergence of corona, which would not be from COVID-19.
I mean, for people who have allergies,
exactly.
You know, I chew granite and I'm coughing all over the place. So you just try to avoid some of these things because then the stigma is
you confuse us.
Exactly.
You confuse us.
You know, somebody just sent a message that let me look for the message quickly. That is, I'm looking for this message. It says that, Answer, please kindly use your medium to advise the people who use strong perfumes to stop. I mean, for now, and I need So you
because
could
of the allergy thing,
And I mean, somebody smells somebody's perfume, and you can start at one place and sneeze for like 10 times.
That's it. Yes.
So I mean, not every one of them means
it's
that
COVID. Yeah,
exactly.
But because of the scare and the high alert we are all on,
true,
and in the interest of playing it safe, you know, then so in that case, if you have the means, don't stay in the same room as a couple. Okay, up until things get sorted. If it is a COVID, averagely 7 days, you are good, you are cleared, averagely. Okay, but if somebody thinks, okay, if you don't have a symptoms, but you think you may have been exposed, you will know. There's a lot of honesty and transparency in this game. That is crucial. You need to be honest to yourself. Did you just walk past this guy who just sneezed? Oh, he's got a runny nose. Okay. Or if for some reason a healthcare worker, you have been exposed, you will know. Like a colleague was sharing with us how the last case that was detected in Kumasi, they saw the patient and then did ABC before the confirmation was done, by which time they had closed and gone home. So they were all standing waiting for the results. So you know that, okay, this could have been it. This is a suspected case. So whilst waiting to know the outcome of the test, the precautionary thing is avoid mixing with people. And then if for any reason the results would come positive, then the thing to do is the self-isolation we discussed. We're going to talk about. Okay. So self-isolation is staying indoors and avoiding contact within 2 meters to the next person. Stay indoors means that you don't go out, you don't receive visitors close to you, you don't mingle directly with family, and you self-isolate by keeping the distance of 2 meters, 1.5 meters, the longer the better, to be honest with you. And then you avoid the hugs, you avoid the pecks, and of course you avoid kissing. Because what it is that there are two main plus other ways of spreading the virus. The primarily spread is through the respiratory droplets. You've heard about that. You know, where as you breathe, the air that's coming out, if you have the virus in your respiratory tract, some of that will come with it. If you cough, it's coming out with a bit more of force, and it's from deeper parts of your lungs. If you sneeze, imagine the power with which you sneeze. Pooh! Okay, it comes from deep parts of the lungs, carries all the germs with it, and shoots it with that energy.
Oh my.
So it goes and it spreads out like that. Which is why we say respiratory hygiene. So you cough into a piece of tissue. You sneeze into a piece of tissue, which doesn't go back into your pocket, goes into the litter bin. So we also even need the litter bins around, readily accessible. The second way of spread is the one that we pick from surfaces, which is why the hands have become very important. Because the hands will touch the receptionist desk, the door handle, the car door handle, you know, And until the message gets well grounded, the hands are going to be shaking people and all of that, which we are discouraging. So the hands are going to be receiving and sharing and distributing. So practicing the hand hygiene is crucial in breaking the chain of transmission. And fortunately, this virus is so susceptible to the alcohol-based preparations.
Great.
Which is a good thing. And so, unfortunately, we have run out of sanitizers in towns, become a scarce commodity, but we are being told how it can be prepared. You need 100% base of alcohol. That is good. You rub it as often as you can, and each time you have access to running water and soap, you do that generously. Wash it thoroughly, because the virus has some fatty coating, and so these are able to destroy that and render it powerless.
Okay.
But
there are people who are complaining about the fact that the alcohol-based sanitizers are also giving them colds.
Right.
How do you deal with that?
Well, yeah. Some people also complain. Somebody showed me their hands yesterday. They are peeling off. So you do it away from your nose. Those who have the allergies, the smells irritate the airway, and like we're saying, so you do it away from your nose as much as you can. And fortunately, for most of them, it's a particular brand, and so if you switch the brand, you're likely to find one.
You can't find them. We are
I know. Or if you have the means, then for you, it's going to be a lot more of the hand washing. Yeah.
Right.
And those who tend to get a reaction by the skin peeling off is a form of dermatitis. Then, when you use it and it dries, try applying some hand cream. Yeah, it helps.
All right.
Then the other part is the couple's intimate love life.
Doc, before you get there, let me try and read some of the messages, and then we will recap the things you have said.
Right.
And then we'll move on to the second part of the conversation.
Okay.
So that we make sure that we're jamming the message home. Okay, after my intro, I got this message that says, oh wow. Okay. Alright, so I'll try and find that message. Okay, this is shout out for you. Adam, Dr. Promise Safoga is a special person and very approachable gynae. Always smiling, making it very easy to talk with him concerning your issues. We need more of his kind, from Joanna Roxon.
Thank you, Joanna.
That's shout outs for Doc. He's not going to have breakfast and lunch today. That's enough breakfast and lunch.
Maybe even dinner.
So, wifey, please, so we eat tomorrow. Please kindly wish Mrs. Isabella Gole Yegbe, the name. The Chief Auditor of Adabraka Polyclinic, a happy birthday, and may God bless and protect her for the good work she's doing for Ghana, from Abraham Lincoln of Quality Insurance. So, Auntie Isabella, happy birthday to you. God bless you for the good work. Knowing that you work in the clinic, I can imagine. So, happy birthday to you. Enjoy grace, enjoy life. Charles in Norway. Charles says, I'll rather advise we keep our shoes outside. We're always walking into living rooms and bedrooms, the major source of introducing infections to our homes now. Charles in Norway. That's very right. That is very right. Sometimes people have carpets in their room and the kids are lying on it and all that, and you're going out. And that is very right. Charles, that's very informative. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, keep it outside. Especially so if it's your own house. And
it's safe.
It is. This one, I have read. Okay, no. This one says, good morning. It's not the message. Wow, it's pretty long. It is true we're not in normal times, but we trust the maker of heaven and earth. He shall surely see us through. Amen. I pray and commit our dear nation Ghana and all its inhabitants into the hands of God. That's one thing I know, that our God is still on his throne working miracles, and he shall work a miracle today by healing our land. I salute my grandfather, Mr. Sakiti Gabriel, and all the family. Adam, to fight against the deadly virus, let's follow all the necessary laid down medical rules. That, yes, we're talking about them again, but I'll just read them out as you've sent. Regular washing of hands, social distancing, using alcohol-based sanitizers, avoid the normal routine touch of people and objects, drinking a lot of water, but above all, the medical laid down rules. Let's put God first. Thanks so much for your program. Thank you for tuning in and doing the listening, and for your contribution as well.
Those are very valid.
This one says, Joy FM, what about going to the airport arrival hall to wait for our friends and relatives? Is it safe to do that?
You know how the arrival halls can be packed.
Yes.
So it's about avoiding gatherings as much as possible.
And I mean, if you went there to pick your family, I'm sure you can still sit in your car, unless of course you don't know the person. But we should find ways around these things.
Yeah.
You know, standing there with everybody. Now you're not sure who is even getting back with what.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I particularly don't think it is safe, but exactly what to do about it.
Yeah.
You want to have these conversations with whoever is arriving and have a very good plan, you know, towards it.
Yeah.
And it's even being advised that if you're coming back from any such zone, you isolate yourself a bit. So if the person is coming straight from any of these places into the car to your home, then you know that you're not practicing,
risk.
Exactly. Yesterday I washed my hands all day such that my hands were itchy. Ow. Can I apply lotion after washing my hands? That's exactly what doctor said.
Yeah, get some hand cream.
Yeah. So that you don't end up having other issues.
Yeah.
Okay, someone good morning, Adam. The emergency numbers don't seem to be working. I have tried I tried the whole of yesterday, but nobody answered the phones. I have tried all the numbers several times this morning, but no answer. Wanted to report a suspected case involving one of our workers. Oh my God. I don't know what the issues could be, but the numbers as I have them here are 0552222. Okay, the twos are 4. 0552222 Another one is 0552222 Then you have 05094977700, and then 05584398868. I'll be going over them again. But I think that we'll speak to Fred Smith. He's in charge of our health desk to follow up and see what these issues are, because that shouldn't be happening.
No, it shouldn't be.
No,
hopefully
there
should be other alternatives.
Yes, it shouldn't be happening. Especially so, I mean, this person has observed somebody and suspected
case,
I mean, it shouldn't be happening. Please, do we have designated coronavirus emergency centers? Can we walk into any hospital or clinic of our choice when we suspect coronavirus infection, Doc?
So if you suspect a case, the safest is to call.
Okay.
If you call the numbers, you'll be directed based on where you are. Tema General Hospital has a place, Ridge Hospital has a place, and so based on where you are, when you call, you'll be directed to where to go and be safely taken care of. And then your samples taken. If need be for isolation, you get quarantined, and then we wait for the results and we take it from there. Results come and says you're negative, you would have been started on some treatment before you go back home. Okay.
Somebody is concerned about our jobs. This is Kwame McLean in California. He says, Adam, sanitize the microphones, the media houses. We do. So after every show, after everybody who uses it, we wipe down everything with alcohol. The console, the microphones, even the chairs we sit on, the arms, we make sure that it's wiped down with alcohol constantly. Now, if you walk into our premises, you'd realize that we don't even do the clock-in anymore. So the doors are opened, you walk in and out, but we're also advising that if you really don't have any business with us, and people just walk in here, I want to come and see Joy FM, this is not the time. This is not the time. You can call, you're looking for somebody in a media house and it's just a personal thing. Why don't you pick a phone and call them, other than knowing that, okay, especially so when you hear the person on air, you know that, oh, I've heard this person on air, the person will definitely be around. And so you just walk in and then, especially so if the person doesn't even know you. So we all have to, care for each other around this time. pick up the phone and make a phone call. And if it's need be that you make an appointment with the person, you make an appointment. But yes, thanks for being concerned about us. We appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And then he went on to say that this is great education, Home Affairs. Thank you. Let me see if there are.
And Joy, you have the Veronica bucket at the
yes,
entrance
outside
there and the sanitizer. So
as well.
Every workplace would even encourage that. Have a way people can sanitize before they get in, before they touch the door handle, before they get into the office.
Look, I'm sure you're wondering why I'm smiling. This one says, how about going to the beach side where a lot of people gather to exercise and the salty nature of the atmosphere there? Is that place also safe? Is it safe?
So that becomes risky because you have the numbers. Yes. You don't know who else is being exposed to who. Or
don't you have any protection from the salt, the sea water and all?
We haven't established that yet.
Okay.
So we don't want to risk that. But we can see the risky element of the number of people there. So if possible, avoid that for now. If in another couple of weeks we realize that salt is effective, no problem.
Go and bath in the sea all day. Yeah, but so for now, I mean, some of us who even love to go to the gym, we have stopped. You need to find ways around it.
Yeah, the thing. That's why every workplace, especially where people come and interact, we need to up the hygiene things. So like I said, every workplace, even have your sanitizer at the entrance. Have a place people can regularly wash their hands before they get even inside the main building.
Exactly.
It's a call for everybody. You see, like we're saying, this is changing the way we do so many things. Some are for the good. Some, unfortunately, yes. But we have to respond. It's part of it. So that you're working, because you see, we're even beginning to have evidence that the virus can be transmitted through feces. You see, so, and you know what that means? In our environment, we don't have enough toilet facilities. You see, and so it can be pretty serious.
This is not a time you want to allow anybody to tell you that,
exactly,
and be safe.
Exactly.
So far we've been talking about when Doc walked in, we've gone over sanitize your hands with alcohol-based sanitizers. He says that if you live in an environment that you can, take off your clothes even before getting into the main house. And then, was it McLean who also just shared with us that we should take off our shoes, take off your shoes as well. Social distancing is key. Doc said that the longer the distance, the better. So, it's key. When you get back home, you go, after taking off your clothes, he said, especially so if you're a health worker, you don't have any business taking your coat home. Hang it in the hospital. Eventually, when you get back home and you take off your clothes and you enter the house, yes, let the children understand that it's not, good time to start hugging and all that. Go inside the bathroom, wash your hands very well all the way to your elbows. It's very important. If you can take a shower down quickly and then come back to meet them. And then he talked about the fact that for the children, I think it will be fun for them. At least 20 seconds, wash your hands very well. And whilst you're doing it, you can be singing their happy birthday, even if it's not anybody's birthday. Sing it, and that will help. Now, we also went on to talk about you live with somebody, a friend, your family members, and you start noticing that people are coughing, they have fever, all the symptoms. You will have to start thinking about isolating, stay away, and then you call the emergency numbers. I'm going to go over the numbers again. Also, if people have extreme headache, they have fever, they have coughing, they have cold, they are sneezing and all that, we need to watch out for all of that. Stay out of, of every other person. Stay in your room. Don't receive visitors. It's important when you start feeling any of these things, and self-isolate. Avoid the pecks, avoid the hugs, avoid the kissings. And then he talked about two main ways of, the spread. We talked about respiratory droplets. That's the cough and the sneeze. And Doc talked about the sneeze, that when you're sneezing, it comes from within with every other thing, everything comes out. And so, it's there in the atmosphere with all the pressure. Exactly. So we have to practice respiratory hygiene. Cover your nose, use a tissue. When you finish, that tissue doesn't go back into your bag. Put it in the litter bin. And then we also the second way of spread is the surfaces we talked about. So this is where the hands become very critical. You're touching the receptionist desk, you're touching your computers, you go on to carry a cup, you do all of these. So it becomes very, very important. So these two ways, the respiratory droplets and then the surfaces. That's how come it's important that we're using the alcohol-based sanitizer as often as we can, and then washing our hands very well. And I mean, for the people who react to it, we've talked about the fact that, I mean, use it away from your nose, and then if you're having, reactions on your hands, you can use a cream when you finish using the sanitizer. Okay, and then we answered a few questions as well. Now I want us to go on to the issue of the couples. One of the things that Doc, so we're talking about couples, but I remember yesterday I was telling you that this whole idea of self-isolation or what's the difference? Self-isolation and then self-quarantine. What's the difference, first of all?
Pretty much the same concept.
Okay.
You just want to avoid spreading to people who are close to you.
Okay.
Most especially your family. So you stay. So if you are living with a family and you are a suspected case, you stay. You don't interact with the family. Okay. A few of the scenarios make it a little bit liberal, but I would rather, they said anybody who wants to talk to you should stay 2 meters away. But if you can avoid that, you stay in the room, have all your gadgets with you, read your books, have your phone. You can call, you can do your video call, you can do your WhatsApp, everything. Avoid direct contact. They bring the food, of course.
They leave it at the door.
They leave it at the door. It's not as though you're in a prison, but as though you're in a hotel room service. Looking like that. You see what I mean?
Oh my God.
Room service delivers your food. When you're done, you push the tray out.
Now, that was where my concern was yesterday when we had a conversation.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're in the room, you're not interfacing with anybody. Assuming that this person who is sick lives in a home with rooms, or they have a room to themselves.
Sure.
There are lots of situations where you have to share a room with other people. A single room has mother, father, children, aunties, and uncles in there, or a chamber and a hall. Okay, but then let's say that this is a home where you can have a room to yourself. So they have a room to themselves, and you're staying in the room. You have your toilet, you have your bath, you have everything you need in that room. But you need to eat.
Yeah.
So they brought you food. You have eaten the food. The bowl, the tray, you put it out for somebody to come and pick.
Yeah.
Are the people not still at risk, touching the surfaces and all that?
Yes.
Even if you want to wash the bowls and you come and put it back, you still touch them anyway.
Yeah, but at least everybody's cautious and going the extra mile to minimize the risk as much as possible. So we can be sure, as we do the things properly, whoever is coming, sanitize their hand before coming for the tray. They go back, they wash it with soap and water. We should be safe. We should be
to an extent.
We should be safe.
Okay.
But there's just a top small percentage that can have that luxury of the extra room.
Exactly.
Which is why there's a call. It's a national call. It's a humanitarian call. 2 days ago, one Manchester United player gave up his hotel to be used as a quarantine center here.
Wow.
So let society respond. Let the corporate world respond. One hotel can say, I'm designating this block for such purposes. Because like you're saying, people who live in compound houses, is the porch and the main room, which is everything. And it's a suspected case. We should be able to move them. China was able to build a whole city of holding place within days. We don't have the capacity, but at least we have some ability of goodwill. Let's do that. You see, corporate people should bring support. We need it.
But you see, in this part of our world too, there's a lot of stigma. So somebody decides that, this is a hotel, I'm giving it for this purpose. And then eventually we are out of the woods. How many people will still want to go into that hotel, even if you go fumigating the place?
Oh yes, it's only people who don't understand. And a lot of people who don't understand are people who ordinarily wouldn't need the hotel services anyway.
Yeah, well,
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a good side of it. A lot of people say, oh, this hotel was so kind, let me patronize their services. Okay. So there's a need for support.
Great.
There's a need for support.
Now let's move to the home. I think today we were able to cover the other side. I don't know if we can continue next week, but let's move to the home now.
Yeah.
Couples.
Yes.
On Home Affairs, we encourage couples to stick together, to be intimate, love yourself, don't deny your partner, intimacy and all that. But I mean, we're getting into that area. Some of the things you read around that divorce rates are going high. I don't know how true those ones are or how, haven't verified them, but, it's like people are, so the social distancing is also becoming couple distancing, stay apart. People, I've heard of people who have, much as they're not showing symptoms, they have moved into separate rooms already, just so we want to be safe and all that. How do you manage these?
It's a bit of an overkill.
Yeah.
So we are, it's basically an issue of, we are humans, naturally tactile, and the women would feel happier if they are touched. Like I said, so that to the extent that sometimes the women accuse the men of being stiff if they are not being so much reaching out and touching them. But we are not in ordinary times. That has been said over and over again. And so you don't expect to keep doing things the same way. So based on that understanding, and with the view of keeping safe, we need to do some adjustments. Okay, so in the couple intimacy life, let us, if you are a couple that you just stay home together, you don't go anywhere.
You're fine.
If such a thing exists, that is in the most idealistic scenarios. No problem.
Maybe the cities that have been put, at the lockdown.
Well, those who have been locked down, yes, probably.
Especially so if you were locked down, then you're safe.
Yes, exactly. You're safe before the lockdown. And we are praying we don't get there. But the rate at which this thing is escalating in Ghana, in Accra and the Kumasi, we may get there. We may get there.
Wow.
And so, in that case, no problem. But otherwise, minimize the use of the hands.
Okay.
So less touching, less kissing, because the virus stays in the oropharynx. There is a space between the back of the mouth into the throat. Stays there, and so kissing, saliva, kissing, the nose is touching the other nose, forehead to forehead, lips on lips. Corona in and out. You see what I mean?
I like the way you put it.
Yes. So if we can skip that for now until we get around COVID-19, okay? Now,
and couples should understand that their partners are not avoiding them.
Yeah.
It's not like, it can be tricky.
Yeah.
Where your partner feels like, I live with you. I don't have this thing.
Yeah.
So why are you reacting this way? It can be tricky. But
yes.
I think, like you said, we have to understand that we're not in normal times.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. You see, because there are a lot of, we suspect there are people who are asymptomatic transmitters.
Yeah.
And that is dangerous.
Those are very dangerous.
They are, you see. And so it's just to be universally cautious. That's what it is. And which is why it has to be based on understanding. You see, this is not the time that you need to show your love through physically caressing. No. Show the love through other means, of course.
Send love messages.
Send love messages. Buy some Ghana-made chocolate. You see what I mean? And then some flowers. We need to be creative.
Exactly.
It's important because we need to also keep ourselves going. That said, sexual intimacy remains very important. It's fun. Could
it be sexually transmitted too?
So, for now, we don't have an answer that says yes.
Okay.
But if you look at sexual intimacy as a comprehensive package of all that we do, if there's supposed to be kissing, then there is some element there. But through what we call sexual intercourse, no, it's not transmissible.
So people will just decide to skip the foreplay.
You see what I mean? But like we said, you can have other ways. Let's be creative. We said, be creative to turn each other on as much as possible. Okay. Now, so we have said that because saliva can be avoid kissing. We've also mentioned that there is emerging evidence that it can be transmitted through feces. Okay, and so the virus gets into the system, which is why we say avoid touching your face, your mouth, your nose. If something gets into your system, it can run through your gastrointestinal and come out intact. And so if that happens, then in the anal area, there's a risk of some virus being present there. So why don't we take a shower before? Take a good shower before you get intimate.
Yeah.
Okay? And then anal sex, we have always preached against it. Not preached, we've always advised against it, even more so now. Right? Because it comes with all the other complications. But now the risk of COVID-19 has come to add to the reasons why it should be discouraged.
Wow.
And then after sex, sanitize. Sanitize
After sex.
Yeah.
Someone is asking, how about the use of, antiseptic liquids? How helpful are they?
Yes, on the hands, fine. But there's no time to go putting antiseptic liquids or preparations in your private part now.
Ish.
No.
People do that.
Yeah, they do. So no.
But that thing burns.
Some
even
do.
when when you don't put the right proportions into water and use it to bath, it even burns your skin.
So some people do wild things for various reasons. So no, the hands are important. So the target is the hands, and you take a good shower, would have been able to wash off any potential contaminant anywhere, including the anal area, before you get intimate.
Wow. We have been learning a lot this morning on Home Affairs. Hopefully I'm able to again recap the things we have said. But quickly, let me share some information with you. Milk just got excited with Dano Milk. Dano Milk has 3 extra amazing powdered milk flavors to its plain milk, and they come in chocolate, strawberry, and coffee. Beyond being creamy and tasty with pleasant and natural aroma, they are healthy and nutritious, and that helps you to grow strong mentally and physically. Get your favorite flavor at 1 Ghana cedi only for the 40-gram sachet and serve with cold, warm, or hot water. Dano Milk. Strength comes from within. And have you seen the new addition to the Cerelac range of baby cereals? It's the new Cerelac 350-gram wheat pouch or sachet. The same nutritious Cerelac, with a great taste wheat that babies love. Cerelac 350-gram wheat pouch or sachet is also packed with iron, proteins, and vitamins that babies need for growth and development, and it really tastes amazing. You can try it for yourself, and having your baby try different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. It actually helps them to develop their palate and prepare them better for accepting variety of adult foods later on. So go ahead and try the different flavors: maize, rice, wheat, 3 fruit pieces, and biscuity. Grab your sachet in any retail outlet near you. And Dole is a tasty and fruity yogurt. Dole is deliciously creamy and thick. Plus, it is so refreshing. It is packed with natural energy and yummy flavors. It comes in fruit cocktails, strawberry, vanilla, and natural flavors. In the morning and during your busy schedules or relaxing moments, grab one and share one and enjoy one. Dole can now be found in leading supermarkets near you. For bulk purchase, contact Soticam Ghana Limited on 0244282005. Dole, more, I need more. And with a global COVID-19, You're still tuned in. And with the global COVID-19 outbreak, CTD's key priority is the safety and health of our customers and staff, aligned with the guidelines both national and international health authorities have decided. Among others, they include a mandatory self-disinfection of everybody's hands as they enter and leave the shop. Recently, we saw one of our customers refusing to respect the directive. Even after repeating requests from the store manager and security guard, she started to touch the product with unwashed, disinfected hands. This action could put to risk the safety of other customers and staff. After her refusal, the security guard was forced to move the customer out of the store. Although we take the safety of our staff and customers very seriously, CTD feels that the security guard may have taken the case a bit too far. Furthermore, we do not tolerate any type of hate speech. We pride ourselves to keep our customers at the core of our activity, treating them all equal. That is where we have already taken internal measures to make sure that situations as such do not happen again. At CTD, we're doing everything we can, even in these challenging times, to ensure the supply of essential goods while keeping our customers and staff safe. These include, but not limited to, the placement of disinfectants at the entrance of the stores, new opening hours, the limitation of the number of customers per store at a particular time, and the control of quantity of essential goods per customer, so that we ensure all customers are attended to. CTD cares about your well-being, and our goal here is for us to stay safe and together survive these challenging times. Be safe. Dear parents and guardians, Joy Learning is intensifying teaching lessons in these times as the reported COVID-19 cases in Ghana have compelled schools to close down. Kindly tune into television channel to Joy Learning and access our classroom lessons and other educational programs. We can assure you that with Joy Learning, your children will not be left behind in classroom teaching whilst in the house. Do not allow COVID-19 to prevent your child from learning. Joy Learning has you covered. With Joy Learning, education is secured, convenient, and easily accessible anywhere, anytime, in the comfort of your home. Get a multi-TV digibox for your kids now. Joy Learning, keep learning. Okay, so Doc, our time is up. I'm not sure we can do the very last topic we wanted to talk about, the issue about pregnancy, labor, childbirth, breastfeeding in these times. We have just about 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I mean, we can wrap up for today.
Okay.
And then, but there's a bit of
Great.
disquiet among the pregnant women. But just to say that you are not necessarily at an increased risk than the non-pregnant person.
Okay.
So let's keep that established.
Right.
The disease is new. There's still a lot we are learning. We have seen about 9 pregnant women from China. I mean, in China, they saw 9 pregnant women who had their babies. None of the babies had the virus.
Okay.
In the UK and the US, there were 2 babies that tested positive. But we are not sure yet if they got it through the pregnancy, through
handling during delivery,
or
and all that.
contact in the initial hours.
Oh my God!
So it is still evolving. If a pregnant woman has any symptoms, follow the same routine. Place a call. You'll be attended to. If there's a need to deliver you, we'll follow what we have to do as professionals.
Okay.
And no need to panic at all. It's important everybody takes their hand hygiene, respiratory hygiene very, very seriously. One thing we need to also emphasize is good nutrition, because you need your immunity to be up and able to take care of you to a large extent. Alcohol has a tendency to lower your immunity. So we are talking about alcohol rub.
Rubbing people think alcohol. You have to drink it to be able to stay safe.
No. It will cause harm. Smoking, the smoke goes into the lungs. It damages the lungs, makes the lung already sick and weak. And so the virus easily will cause major problem for you if you smoke. So this is time for you to want to reconsider and eat healthy, adequate proteins, adequate fluid intake, and your fruits, they keep your immunity up.
Sure. Thank you, Doc. Hopefully next week we're able to go. I mean, that is if you have the time.
Yeah.
we'll be talking during the week.
Great.
This one says that, and I know a lot of these issues are going to come up, but we're unable to touch on this week. It says, "Good morning, Adam. The issue of of husband and wife. My husband is the greedy type who does not give sex freely already. Now that this thing has come, it is going to add to men like his type.
Right.
Allah help us."
Yeah.
Hey!
That's already an existing problem. That,
and then, but why wouldn't he want to give sex freely?
So that is what we need to work on. He probably would need to have a professional counseling session. Yes.
Not give it freely, saying.
That might help.
So yes, on that score, we're ending Home Affairs today. I'm sure you have learnt a lot, just as I have. Again, remember, we are not in ordinary times, so less touching for couples, less kissing, because when you're kissing, the foreheads and all that, the nose is touching and all that, so you do these things less. And we also know that there are some people who are asymptomatic, and these people could be, spreading, and that's very dangerous. And then we should find creative ways of, reaching our partners and still being intimate with them. And after if you get to that point where you can do it, especially so when, we're thinking that you have to skip the foreplay, but when you get to that place, when you're done, sanitize yourselves and all that, and then let's all keep safe. Hopefully next week we will continue with the conversation. Dr. Sapoga, Daniela, thank you very much. Thank you, said, and Fairboy as well. Weekend City Show is up next.
One Ghana city, one Ghana.